영상이 시작되기 전에 먼저 등장할 5개의 문장을 보여드릴게요. 빈칸에 들어갈 표현을 유추해보세요. 단어 하나하나를 직역하지 않고 전체 의미에 맞게 의역하고자 노력합니다. 그게 바로 영어식 사고의 출발이에요. 그럼 시작해볼까요?
Too powerful to run over the internet. This helps with those latency issues. The vendor still handles the tricky stuff. They own it outright. They landed that big deal with the Jülich Supercomputing Center.
Welcome everyone to Magic of Listening. This is the channel built to help intermediate English speakers, especially those interested in business and the economy, practice listening with some fun current news. Today, we're going to really dig into quantum computing, QC, right? And the mission is to unpack this huge shift that happened in 2025. We saw QC move from being just, remote research you run online.
Right, on the cloud.
Exactly, on the cloud, to becoming a real physical business tool, something sitting right there on the customer's own site. Okay, so let's unpack that, this move from cloud to actually being on site.
Yeah, that turning point is really the key thing here. And what's fascinating, like you said, is the move away from just, renting machine time online to companies installing actual physical hardware, expensive hardware too, on their premises. That means they're really taking possession, right?
So that changes the game. Organizations now have to choose how they want to engage with this tech. What are the main ways companies are doing this now, the options?
Well, there are basically 3 models we're seeing emerge.
Okay, so the standard one is still cloud access, I guess. Paying by the hour, running code on someone else's machine, like Amazon bracket.
Exactly. That's still very common, especially for trying things out or for less sensitive work.
But what if the data is too sensitive? Or maybe the system itself gets too powerful to run well over the internet?
Ah, right. That's where you start seeing more commitment.
Yeah.
The second model is what we're calling managed installs for research.
Managed installs.
Yeah. So this helps with those latency issues, or if you've got really proprietary data you can't send out. The vendor, they set up the system and run it, but on the client site.
Okay.
But the vendor still handles the tricky stuff. Think IBM System 1 they put in at the Cleveland Clinic, that's a managed install, or the newer System 2 going into Wrting in Japan. That one's got the 156 qubit Heron processor.
Wait a minute, 156 qubits. If cloud is available, why would a big research center like Wrting want this massive, expensive machine physically there?
Well, it's about the scale, the complexity, the sensitivity. It just explodes as you add more qubits. 156 qubits, that's serious horsepower.
Okay.
And at that level, the system can be so sensitive that running it remotely, it might introduce too much delay, too much latency, or even security risks for their most critical projects.
Yeah.
So that really pushes the need for an on-site managed setup.
Got it. But, okay, what if an organization wants it all? Total control, maybe they see it as a long-term asset. What's the ultimate commitment level?
That's the third one. The on-premises purchase.
Yes.
Simple as it sounds. The organization actually buys the machine. They own it outright. It goes right onto their balance sheet.
Wow.
And we definitely saw that happening more in 2025. D-Wave, for example, they started offering their Advantage 2 system as something you could just buy. They landed that big deal with the Jülich Supercomputing Center in Germany, too.
Yeah, what really jumped out at me from the source material was seeing the actual money change hands. The deals that prove this isn't just talk anymore. Like, Rigetti. They got that $5.7 million order for 2 of their smaller Novera systems. Deliveries planned for early 2026.
That's a great example.
And significantly, the market noticed, right? Their stock price actually jumped after that news broke.
Exactly. And if you connect those kinds of deals to the bigger picture, it really shows this push for on-site systems is often driven by national strategies.
National strategies, how so?
Well, Countries want these powerful machines physically located at their top institutes, like Wrting. It's not just for research prestige. It's about securing national intellectual property, building local quantum expertise, reducing reliance on foreign cloud providers, too.
Okay. Makes sense.
And the fact that investors are interested in putting real money in, like with Rigetti, that confirms quantum is moving past being just a lab curiosity. It's becoming an early-stage business technology.
So, okay, we've got these big machines, these multi-million-dollar deals. Where are we really? Is quantum computing replacing our normal computers anytime soon? What's the scale here?
That's such an important question. We really need to keep expectations realistic. I mean, yes, the market's growing fast. Revenue might cross maybe $1 billion in 2025. That's up quite a bit from maybe $750 million the year before.
That sounds like huge growth.
It is, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
But, compared to something like AI or just traditional computing infrastructure, $1 billion is still pretty small. We should be expecting slow, steady, step-by-step progress, not some overnight revolution where suddenly your laptop is useless.
Right.
Quantum is still focused on solving very specific, very complex problems that classical computers struggle with, not everything.
Okay, so the main takeaway, the fundamental story for 2025 is that quantum tech is definitely moving. Slowly, maybe, but clearly shifting out of the pure research lab and into the real world, and mostly through these on-site and managed systems.
Exactly right. The key thing to grasp is that this cutting-edge tech is now appearing on the actual physical balance sheets of real companies and national labs. That signals a much more permanent industrial kind of commitment.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive on magic of listening. As you think about this next phase for quantum, maybe consider this.
Yeah.
Which of those three ways of getting quantum cloud, the manage install, or just buying it outright, which one do you think might give companies the biggest edge, the biggest competitive advantage in the long run? Something to think about.
영어와 시사 경제 두 마리 토끼를 한 번에 잡는 알찬 시간 되셨다면 구독과 좋아요를 꾹 눌러주세요. 감사합니다.